What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today is time for the Week 18 Premier League predictions, and the videos are coming thick and fast. I want to give a massive shout out to the Oscar for leaving their predictions on the previous Premier League game week. I'm actually recording this before a single game of Week 17 has been played, because I'm actually going to London for a couple of days, and the only way I'd be able to get this up for you today, even though some of the games still haven't played this week by the time you're watching, is to record it on Tuesday morning. So we don't know the results of the Week 17 games. You're going to have to bear with me. At the time of recording, the Brentford Man United game has been postponed, and as far as the other games go, I don't know yet. I assume they all went ahead. Massive shout out to all of the members as well. We just passed 30 members in the TF90 Super Tipsters Members Club. If you want to get involved, then you can click the join button down below or the first link in the description. Also, please do subscribe, as we're less than 400 subscribers away from the big 20,000. As I said, I'm away in London for a couple of days, so I don't even have tips necessarily for each game in this video. I'll perhaps give you some tip ideas as we go along, but I don't have betting odds or anything like that because I'm recording this too soon ahead of time. But for members, I will probably have a community post at some point with some tips for the game week coming up. So with all that said and everything out of the way, please do drop a like and let's get kicked off with Manchester United up against Brighton. Now, I did predict they would get a 2-1 away win against Brentford. I thought that would be quite a tricky game. I think this one should be a little bit easier. I predicted a 0-0 draw between Brighton and Wolves. I think this episode is going to be kind of hilarious with hindsight, because obviously I'll know what I predicted, you'll know what happened. So I predicted a low-scoring draw, 0-0 or 1-1 against Wolves for Brighton, but I think Man United are going to win this one. I don't think we're going to see any 2-2 full-time, 3-2 after full time like we did with the Manchester United Brighton game not too long ago with the Bruno Fernandes penalty after full time. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Manchester United win. They haven't quite clicked under Ralf Rangnick yet, but despite that, they have kept a couple of clean sheets. They played well in the opening half against Crystal Palace, and they were fortunate that it was Norwich that they were playing when they had a pretty poor performance. But I think with the rest against Brentford, I think they'll be able to get a win here at Old Trafford against Brighton, 2-0. I guess a tip would just be Man United win, to be honest, but the odds probably won't be that great. I'd imagine like 1.5 or something like that. After that, we have Southampton up against Brentford. I predicted Southampton to just miss out against Crystal Palace in a low-scoring 1-0 loss, and I predicted Brentford to just miss out against Manchester United, which of course didn't go ahead. I see this being a draw. I think at home I could see Brentford nicking this 2-1, 2-0, something like that, but away from home, St Mary's Stadium, this has draw written all over it for me. I think both teams will score. Southampton, I think they're really likely to score one goal in this game, but really unlikely to score twice, if that makes any sense. I'm very confident they score, but I'm also confident they don't score more than one, which is very strange. So I could see Southampton scoring in the first half and then Brentford bringing it back in the second half. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I tell you what, I thought maybe Southampton halftime, draw full time. That, I mean, if you're willing to chuck something on that, the odds on that would probably be very good, like maybe 10-1 or something. Again, I'm making it up because I don't know the odds, but I could see Southampton scoring early in the first 20 minutes, and then Brentford, with the Brentford resilience, scoring in the second half to equalise 1-1. Now, after that, we have Watford up against Crystal Palace. I predicted Watford to just miss out against Burnley, which was a brave prediction, and Palace to just get a low-scoring win against Southampton. Palace currently coming off the win of an amazing game against Everton. I think I'm going to go with Crystal Palace again. I think Watford have just been really struggling. They're the only team this season to not keep a clean sheet in any game. And obviously Ranieri has that promise as to when his team do keep a clean sheet, he's going to go out and buy them all pizza. But at the moment, they can't seem to do it. Crystal Palace have found a few goals in their recent fixtures. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. This one's going to be a tough one. I had both teams to score in the Palace-Everton game at 1.95. It ended 3-1. I think if there was a tip for this game, both teams to score would be it. So bear that in mind. After that, we have West Ham up against Norwich. I predicted Arsenal and West Ham to draw 2-2. I think Arsenal would be the favourites in that game. However, but Norwich, I think they're going to get soundly beaten by West Ham here. This is the game where it clicks for West Ham. London Stadium against lowly Norwich. 3-0 to West Ham. My tip here would be West Ham -1 handicap. I think they win by at least 2 goals. And I think Mikel Antonio, after a little bit of a drought, all things considered, I think he gets back on the score sheet here with a resounding West Ham win. After that, we have Aston Villa up against Burnley. This is going to be low scoring. Like I said, I predicted Burnley to just beat Watford in the last game week and Aston Villa to beat Norwich to 0 in the previous game week. I think Aston Villa are going to win this one. They're going to do what I predicted Burnley will do to Watford and win 1-0 at home. I think Steven Gerrard's really got Aston Villa playing well, looking solid defensively. And I think it was kind of similar to how he started at Rangers. The defence was really good. Towards the end, Rangers were conceding a few more goals than they would have liked. But perhaps Gerrard had his sights elsewhere. I don't know. But I'm going to go for a low-scoring Aston Villa win. Again, I think a tip here would just be Aston Villa outright. I think Villa are a better team than Burnley. Kicking it off after that, we have Leeds up against Arsenal. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? We don't have the intel of the previous game week as to how Leeds got on against Man City. Will they breach their defence? Will they score? We don't know how Arsenal did at home against West Ham. So this is going to be very, very difficult. Arsenal's away record isn't that great. I think Leeds will be really, really up for this. They're not going to park the bus against Arsenal. You know, they're not going to respect Arsenal really in any way, I'd imagine. So this lends itself to goals. I guess a tip could be both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals. If you don't want to look at the result market, I think that would be a good one. But I'm just going to back Arsenal because they've been having a better season and Leeds are riddled with absentees. Arsenal's squad is looking more full, stronger. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Arsenal. Leeds lost 3-2 to Chelsea. I'll back Arsenal to do the same thing. Just a little bit of a wild scoreline there. But both teams are scoring over 2.5 is probably the tip that I would suggest for this one. Again, I don't know the value. After that, we travel to Goodison Park for Everton up against Leicester. Leicester haven't yet played Tottenham. I don't know how that went. Again, Everton haven't played Chelsea. I expect they will lose because only Arsenal gave Everton the 3 points that they needed in their terrible, terrible run. I think Leicester are going to win this one. They have absentees, but so do Everton. I think at full strength, Leicester are a better side than Everton, and the last few years of the Premier League have reflected that. And both at half strength, it lends itself to another Leicester result, another positive result. Again, a tip, perhaps both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals. Pretty good, over 2.5 in Leicester games. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Leicester. I think they just have enough to beat Everton. I don't think it'll be a massive victory like it was against Newcastle. I think the winning margin will be slight. Is potential for a 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw, but I'm just going to give the edge to Leicester. I think it'll be similar to the Leicester-Leeds game a few weeks ago. I'm going to go for 2-1 win to Leicester. Even though I think that ended in a draw, I think Leicester will win this one. Now, after that, we have Wolverhampton Wanderers up against Chelsea. Again, I predicted Wolves to draw 0-0 with Brighton. I predicted Chelsea to beat West Ham, to beat Everton 2-1. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Chelsea. Although they've got a pretty depleted midfield at the time of recording. No Kante, no Kovacic. I think they are just going to have enough to get past Wolves, and I think their defence has been very, very good. So I can see this being much like the Manchester City Wolves game, much like the Wolves-Liverpool game. I could see another 1-0 loss for Wolves, probably the 6th or 7th time they've lost 1-0 this season. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Chelsea, perhaps another draw half-time. Chelsea full-time market could be a shout there. After that, Newcastle up against Manchester City. I initially went 5-1, but I'm going to take it back a peg. I'm going to go 4-0. I think the last time these two teams met, Man City won 4-3. But Man City's defence has been really, really good. It's been really, really good this season. And Newcastle at St. James's Park, I think they could score. But in the last few weeks, Man City have really been defending very, very well. And teams have been finding it hard to score past Manchester City. So it is possible Newcastle score at St. James's Park. But I think even Newcastle will know that one goal probably won't be enough. And I think the mammoth-sized task of trying to beat Manchester City and outscore Manchester City will almost just make it seem any attempt at goal would just be futile, and I think that'll actually hurt their chances of scoring in the long run. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 win to Manchester City. Find value how you can, half-time, full-time. Man City win both halves. Like I said, if you are feeling brave, maybe Man City and both teams to score, but I'm going to go for a 4-0 win here. The final game of the week, Tottenham up against Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to win this one. Tottenham, I don't know what state their squad is in. I don't know if they'll be out of practice having not played a few games or if they'll be rested and ready to go having not played a few games. But either way, I think Liverpool are too good for this Tottenham side and I don't see Tottenham scoring. Liverpool have had relatively low scoring games and they've been winning clinically. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Liverpool in this fixture. And that just about does it for the Week 18 Premier League predictions. Like I said, there will probably be some sort of community member post regarding tips in other leagues. Of course, we've been absolutely smashing it as well in the other leagues, by the way. Real Madrid to win at over evens in the last 2 weeks. Inter Milan to win without conceding at around evens again. There's been some real nuggets of value in there for the members. And obviously, at the time of recording, it's quite a few days before this game week and even before Week 17. So it's hard to provide tips and value, but these were my predictions nonetheless. I think after this point, it gets a little bit easier up until Christmas, but then between Christmas and New Year, there's a load more videos as well. So that is going to do it for me for now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe so you don't miss a single video. Massive shout out to all of the members, of course, in the TF90 Super Tipsters Members Club, and I will see you in the next video very soon.